Hello everyone, happy Monday. This is Sybil. I'm here to share with you two layouts that I made over the weekend. Now last week I shared with you some of my very first layouts that I made many moons ago, and so many of you were so nice and said don't be so hard on yourself, they're really nice. But in my mind's eye, in my estimation, I don't care for them, and so I do plan on redoing those layouts. And I've actually redone one of the layouts that I had in one of my scrapbook albums. I just didn't share it with you, but I took a picture of it before, and then I will share with you the layout, my new layout. But first, before that one, I want to share with you that I used the Fabri-Tac on both layouts, and I love this. It is so good. And what I really like this for is underneath most of my photos, I have some strong chipboard to give them some lift and dimension, so that way I can tuck, whether it's flowers, embellishments, other pieces of paper underneath my photos. So Fabri-Tac is excellent. It really bonds really well, and it dries clear, but it gives you some wiggle room before it dries for you to move around, whatever it is you're adhering to your page. Oh, and Rene Bouquets, I used some chipboard, so I used there's a small circle in this set, and I used the smallest circle on my layout. And then I used an MFT die. It's Celebrate. This is the die. So from my favorite things, and I cut it out several times, adhered all the layers together. And then I used my Copic markers, and I went from the darkest color to the lightest and gave it an ombre look. And then I added Spectrum Noir sparkle pen on it. And on top of that, I used glossy accents. So I really like the way it turned out. And then I just have this little bag here. This is what I keep in one of my IKEA carts next to my desk. And so whenever I have paper and I have scraps, I put them in here. Now, mind you, I don't do every little piece of scrap. I know some people do that. I don't do that. I actually just save the ones that I think I will really use. And then I also have like a package for white paper, black paper, and then solids. So this is my little pattern paper baggie that I keep. And this is my very first layout that I made this weekend. So I took those strips of paper, and some of them weren't strips, but I cut them down to strips. And then by hand, I cut the fishtail, banner look on both ends of the paper. And then I just laid the papers down. So several of these papers that are on here, I have used recently on cards. So I shared a couple of Christmas cards, and I used this paper and this paper. So yeah, I really like how this all looks. And I have some floral patterns in there, some gingham. So it's more on black and red and white. And there you can see the Celebrate that I told you about, how I cut it. I love the ombre look to it, and the glossy accents really makes it look so pretty. I don't think my camera will pick up the shimmer, but all of these sentiments are from my stash. So this says Happy Memories, and I did a fishtail banner on that too. I cut them all out by hand, and then I popped that up. All of these are popped up, and there's the black and white photo, and you see the chipboard there. This is my best friend Susie. Oops, sorry, that's me. And then this is my dear friend. I call her my mama because when my mom passed away, even before then, she just was so dear to me. Her name is Kay. And this was at a church camp, and we took somebody took our picture, And I just love that picture. And Kay is such a sweet, sweet lady, and so is Susie. And they just bring so much laughter and joy to my life. And I said something, which I won't share, totally clean, but it was like a little private joke for us. And that's why Kay is cracking up so much. And it says priceless. And it's, what did you just say? Because, yeah, I said something. And it says, I will never forget. And so on the back of this page, I will put a little journaling card and journal the date and what I said and everything and why we were, cracking up. So there's the first layout. And then the second layout, I will share with you what I used on my layout. Oh, let me share with you first, if I can bring it up. This is, I hope you can see that, the original layout. So it's Kay again and her daughter, Shelly, and that's me in the middle. And it was a 2-page layout, so I put it on, this was my old layout. I put it on when I didn't know what I was doing. Craft card stock, and then just put some papers there, here and there, and yeah, not real fond of that layout. So I took it all apart and started over. And let me share with you what I used. So I did some mixed media on this layout. I used this Tim Holtz stencil, and I used the Liquitex modeling paste on that. And I also put white gesso on the paper because I used my Distress Oxide inks to do a little bit of color smushing and splatter. So I used Kitsch Flamingo and Tumbled Glass. And then the gesso, what it really does is it prevents your paper from warping and absorbing all that water and the ink color and all of that, because you don't want your paper being all warped. And then I also used Lindy's Starburst Spray in Frozen Jack Frost. It just gave the whole layout a pretty shimmer. Nothing crazy, but just a light, pretty shimmer. And then the texture paste, I used this, what is this called? I can't even think. You know what it is, spatula. And I got a couple of these sets off of Amazon. So I have several of the spatulas in different sizes, but this is the one I tend to use most of the time for mixed media. And that's what I put the modeling paste with down on. And then the Art Basics Finnabair to this, I don't know if you'd call it a brush. It looks like a brush, but you can see it's just like a rubber, top. There's no bristles or anything. And that is great for putting down your gesso. And then I used the beautiful watercolor paper pad here from Spellbinders. This has so many pretty papers in it. And they were perfect for this layout. This is one of the papers I used. And I think that one too. Yep, I used that one as well. So, and that one. So I love that paper pad. And then I used some gemstones. I think these are, I'm thinking from Pretty Pink Posh. I think so. And then I used my distress tool from Tim Holtz. I just purchased a new one. It should be coming in tomorrow because I've had this one forever and the blades are getting really dull and they're not distressing very well. All right, so here is my layout. Oh, I love it, you guys. I love, love, love it so, so much. So let me tell you first, this is that not embossing, but that stencil from Tim Holtz. And so you can see the different colors I got using those two inks. So I just smushed the ink pads down and then added a little spritz of water and then let it do its thing. I'm not sure because there you can see the little shimmer down there. So all of these flowers were in my stash, and I cannot tell you who they're from because I've had them for a while. So I love doing the mixed media on the background first before I put the papers down and the pictures down and everything, because it kind of sets the tone. And if you can see, there's little flecks here and there of the paint, of the ink. So there's this picture, and I've backed them all with the papers, and then I just surrounded them with the flowers. All the flowers are also popped up, and then I added the butterflies, popped them up as well. So I've got some here, and this is from, I think, a Martha Stewart punch. And then this one's a Stampin' Up punch. And then this, Remember Always, I wanted it to say that rather than Always Remember, because it's remember ... always. I like to kind of do a play on words, you know, rather than, you can turn them around and it means just a little bit different than the opposite way. So up here I have a little note to do my journaling. I wanted to do my journaling after I shared this with you. So this was at a retreat, and this is before we moved from Oregon, and the retreat was our church retreat was in Washington, and it was before we moved from Oregon to Missouri, and so I was having to say goodbye to my dear friends. And we were crying, and they were like, no, we need to be laughing so we have, you know, really good memories. And they started making me laugh. I mean, look at that. They were cracking me up. They actually called this a boob sandwich. Oh my goodness, it was so funny. I just love them. I adore them. And I saw them recently. So I still love them so much. And there you can see the gems underneath the butterflies. I did different colored gems for the different colors of butterflies there. And I really love how this turned out. So this is more my style. And this is from this sentiment here, and it's got the little butterfly here. So that butterfly goes with this set. It's from 49 and Market. I told you guys I love their pretty papers and everything. And in fact, these flowers might be from 49 and Market. So I put some little sentiments that I fishtailed here. This one says, I love your hugs. This is so hilarious. Moments like this. And see, moments like this, remember always. And life is better with you. So yeah, I really wish my camera would pick up on the little pretty colors that are smushed here and there. I don't think it's going to, but I love this layout. I think it looks so much better. It's a great representation of me as well as this one. So thank you all so much for taking the time to watch my very first share of my new layouts. And I will be back later on today because I have a big scrapbooking order coming in from a cherry on top. Lots of paper for making more scrapbook layouts. I'm hooked, you guys. I'm having such fun doing these. I'm also going to be sharing some layouts that I will be doing in my memory planner and in Traveler's Notebooks. I'll be adding pictures, and so I will share layouts with you of all those different, you know, modes, you know, whether it's albums, scrapbook 12 by 12, 8 by 11, 6 by 6, you know. So yeah, I will be sharing them with you, and I will also still be making cards. So anyway, I had so much fun doing this. Let me know what you think. I will talk to you later. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Bye for now.